Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Zita, and on my channel I share with you a variety of DIYs, including thrift store makeovers, upcycles, room makeovers. I'll be doing some home decorating and throwing in the odd recipe. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way YouTube will let you know when I post new videos. And don't forget to follow me over on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and Etsy. So let's get started on today's DIYs. So this first DIY here, guys, this is a file box I thrifted, and I'm going to be taking out that middle piece there. It's pretty beat up, so I'm just going to make that over and make it look all beautiful again. And I'm going to make this into kind of like a art box, I guess, idea box. So right here, my first step, I'm putting on some Fusion Ultra Grip. This is going to help the paint stick to the metal better. And if you haven't used the Fusion Ultra Grip before, I'll post that in the description box. So right here, I'm spray painting the box with a coat of black matte paint, and then after that dried, I sprayed it with a sealant. So when I distress it back after applying the white, I don't distress back to the metal. So make sure you seal that black in. And right here, I've using this contact paper that I found at the Dollar Tree. It's a floral print. I'm putting that inside. Just cut all the pieces out to fit in there, and then just peeled it back, and it fit in there pretty nicely. The contact paper wasn't overly sticky, so if it did stick, you were able to pull it up easy and fit it in there properly. So right there, I'm just measuring it out from the outside. So yeah, you just can do it this way as well. You can peel the whole thing off or just peel a little bit at a time. Just pull it back from underneath. So I got all that done. This is what it looks like inside, but that floral box looks a lot nicer. Don't see all that beat up pieces that were inside. So right here, I'm applying my Rust-Oleum white linen chalk paint on top, and I think I gave it a couple of coats just so the black wasn't showing through. And right here, after the chalk paint has dried, I'm distressing it back to the black with a wet rag. Now I've seen some people use scrapers as well. And this is the napkin I'm going to be decoupaging to the bottom. So I'm using some water and a small paintbrush to go around the area that I want to come off the napkin. So make sure to pull that back lightly, just so you don't rip your napkin. Here I'm just pouring out some Mod Podge into a little container here. it's getting down to the bottom, so it's hard for me to reach down there with my brush, but I still do sometimes. So this is what I've cut out of my napkin here with my wet paintbrush. So what do you think, guys? Should I have gone up to the top of the box with the flowers, like on the one side here that I'm applying the Mod Podge, or would you have left it the way it is now, just kind of on the bottom portion? You'll see in the end when it's all finished what I mean. And so I just apply a little bit of Mod Podge at a time, and then I use this plastic shower cap that I have. You can use a plastic bag to smooth it out as well. I find the plastic works well instead of your fingers, because your fingers sometimes can rip the napkin. So go kind of light with the plastic so it doesn't rip the napkin. So this is how I continue applying the Mod Podge and until I get to the end, and then I let that dry a little bit actually before I apply the Mod Podge on top. So right here I have an old calendar that I got at the Dollar Tree, and this is what I'm going to apply to that area there where I left it white. And I'm going to use carbon paper that I picked up from Michael's, I believe. And I cut it down just to fit there, and I tape that calendar page in place so it doesn't shift around. You can see the tape has come up there on the side. But I'm using a pencil, tracing over the words on that calendar page, and it's gonna come out nicely once I'm all finished that, and then it leaves room for you to paint it with a paint marker, a permanent marker. I'm gonna be using a marker in like a pink rosy color, as you see here. And after I finish applying that, I did seal it in with a spray sealant because I didn't want that marker to smear. So I don't have that in my video. I didn't get a video of that, but I did spray it with a spray sealer after I was finished. And then the next day I applied my Mod Podge to the top of that napkin, and I let that dry, and once all of that was dry, I applied a coat of clear finishing wax on the top just to seal all that chalk paint in and to seal the marker in, just to make it more durable. What do you think, guys? Let your ideas bloom. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this for myself or try and sell it yet. So there's the finishing wax, just a clear finishing wax. I applied that all over, and this project is finished. Let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think? From this to this beautiful new piece. For the next DIY, I have this little metal, kind of looks like a purse. I picked this up at the thrift store. So I'm going to put a base coat of black on this, and I actually should have applied that Fusion Ultra Grip too, because I find, I don't know, paint seems to come off metal really easily, and there was a few spots of black that came off after I painted this. So I applied this polyacrylic after to seal in that black, and then I applied my white chalk paint so that I could distress it back to that black without going to the metal. And once that was done, I'm using this IOD stamps here. They have so many beautiful little transfers in here. No, it's not a stamp, it's a transfer. Sorry. And I thought I'd put this little butterfly on here and make this into kind of like a little pot. I'm going to put some lavender in here and make it look all spring and summery. So you just take this piece that comes with the transfers, guys, and just burnish it down, and then I use that plastic that I take off the transfer to burnish it down some more. What do you think, guys? I'm going to put some lavender in here. But first I'm going to distress it back to show some of the black. And I'm going to apply the same finishing wax that I used before. And you can use lint-free cloth or a brush, as you saw me do there. And I have some styrofoam on hand, so I'm just using that to put my lavender in. And this one is finished. This one was quick and easy. Those transfers are awesome, guys. If you haven't used them, pick some up. They're the IOD transfers. I think there's some other companies that have them too, like Redesign for Prima. So if you haven't tried them, try them, guys. They make your projects a little faster. All you have to do is burnish those pictures on there. So this is what it looked like before, and this is how beautiful it looks now. I have it sitting in there with all of my other plants, and those lavender kind of look real sitting in there with all of it. Looks a little bit springy, and it's giving me the spring vibes, and I hope spring is here soon. Let me know, guys, in the comments, what do you thought of this quick redo DIY? DIY here is this box that I thrifted. I think it was maybe a tea box or something like that. Has all these little compartments in there, but it had that that wording on the top there that I couldn't remove. It was kind of ingrained into the wood, so I decided I'm gonna paint that white just on top because I really love the color of the box. I guess I could have tried to find something like the same color as the box, but thought I'd decoupage a floral print on top there. So again, I just apply a little bit of Mod Podge at a time and then use my plastic to burnish that down and then start on another little piece. And I had to piece this napkin together to get the right pattern, just the way the floral print was on the napkin. Now in the end, I don't know what happened here, if it was the Mod Podge, but it seemed like where that line was, it kind of turned like, I don't know, a little yellow or something. So I could see that line a little bit, you know, coming through because of it looking a little more yellow. So I may redo this over sometime in the future, and you'll see here I'll point to that line. See right there? Kind of looks like it's a different color. I don't know why that happened. But so yeah, I sanded off the excess napkin off there, and right here I'm using that same calendar that I had, and I'm just cutting out a piece to fit inside. I was going to do decoupage inside, but I decided to just cut this piece out from this calendar. It says "You're enough," and I put that inside. So this box, guys, you could use it for tea, you could use it for jewelry, you could use it for office supplies, sewing supplies, so many little things that you could use this box for. And yeah, I've dressed it up there with the decoupage, and then this little piece from the calendar, and this one is all done. What do you think of this one, guys? Give me a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think of this guy. And let me know what you think happened there with that line, that yellow line that kind of came through. Do you think that was the Mod Podge, or do you think that was just the napkin? So here's what it looked like before, and here's what it looked like after. Have it sitting over there in the sun. I think it looks beautiful. That floral print is really nice. Again, giving me spring vibes again. This is what that calendar piece that I cut out there looks like inside. So yeah, you could use this little box for all kinds. So again, guys, let me know in the comments what you thought of this one. So for my next DIY, I thrifted this tray from the thrift store. It's just a piece of raw wood. I painted the edges black and the bottom black, and then I painted white in the middle of the tray. But now that I completed my project, I wish I would have just painted the whole thing black, because this napkin here that I'm using for the decoupage is kind of dark. So when I took the edges off, it brought some of the white through. So I think it would have looked a lot better if I would have just painted the whole thing black. So you'll see here after what I mean with some of the white showing through, because it didn't have a clean edge. Maybe if it had a clean edge, it would have been okay, because then none of the white would have shown through. But I think I could have got away with just using black all over this tray with this napkin, because like I said, it's kind of dark. And so I may in the future use some tape around the edges of this napkin, and just so the white doesn't show through. And you'll, like I said, you'll see what I mean coming up here. And this napkin is so beautiful. It's a bunch of succulents on this napkin. It's just gorgeous. I love it. It looks beautiful on this tray. I'm going to put some pots on here, some terracotta pots, and then I had some faux cactus to put in there, and it looks really nice on there. So I just, yeah, when I sanded the edges there, it kind of ripped some of the edges and brought some of that white through. I don't think it would have been as bad if I had the edges of the tray painted white as well. You wouldn't have really noticed that as much. You see what I mean here with the white coming through? Like I said, I don't think it would have been as bad if I had the edges painted white as well. But with the edges painted black, you can really notice that white. It kind of looks like, you know, I made a mistake. But anyway, here's what it looked like before, and here's what it looks like now. I think it still looks beautiful, but like I said, I may paint around there those edges where it's ripped and paint it black. What do you think of this one, guys? Would you have painted black underneath that, or just keep it as is? My last DIY here today, guys, I picked up this little riser from the thrift store. It already looks like a riser. I have no idea what this was before. Maybe part of some cupboard or something. I don't know. Any of you guys have any ideas what this may have been before? I don't think it was a riser. I think it belonged to something. Let me know in the comments if you guys know what this might have been before. So I did the whole process here again with the black paint underneath and then the chalk paint on top, and then I distressed it back to the black, wet distressing it here with a wet cloth. just to bring some of that black through and give it more of that farmhouse kind of feel. And I'm just distressing the corners there, just where you would get some natural wear and tear. And to this one, I have this stencil here, that a floral stencil. I'm just putting it in the corner, and then this piece will be done. And I'm just using, I was going to use some ink on this before, but there wasn't enough ink in the ink pad, so I took out my black paint, and I'm using a stencil brush here and just pouncing up and down. And if you want to, you could also apply a white there before, but this stencil was one that stuck on there, so it worked really well for the stencil brush. I didn't need to paint a white on there before. So this is what the distressing looks like. That's what that stencil looks like. And then after all that dried, the next day I applied a finishing wax to that. And this one's done, guys. So this is what you could use this one for, a little plant stand. You could also put a candle on it here, as you'll see, but you could also put some bathroom stuff on here. Could use this to stage a few things. So let me know in the comments, guys, what you thought of this one and what you thought of today's DIYs. I hope they gave you guys some inspiration for your next projects. You can turn something old into something new again. Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. This will help my channel grow. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye. Have a great day.